Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm Spencer Sachs. Coming up on tonight's show.
It's a playoff game. Took 83 games, but we're right where we want to be, which is back in the playoffs.
It's playoff time in the NBA, and the Unstoppable panel joins me to break down all you need to know. Plus,
Travis, ain't nobody like Travis, but the surest bets in this draft are those two young men. And I just thought I was stabbing when I said that.
our panelists will also take you through the latest in the NFL draft, where there is still no consensus on who will go number one. Then,
he's the first repeat winner as well. The checkered flag is his. Oscar Piastri wins the Bahrain Grand Prix and gives McLaren their first ever victory here in the kingdom.
our team recaps the Bahrain Grand Prix. And as always, stick around for Unstoppable's Top 10. All this and more on Unstoppable. Welcome to Unstoppable from Washington. Let's take a look at some of your headlines. But first, a thank you. There are several people who need a huge, massive thank you. Thank you to our executive producers, Alex Ashley and Zach Brody. Without their leadership this year, this show would not be what it is. To the several seniors on this show, Alex Ashley, Rami Hanash Jr., and Brittany LaVecchia. From one senior to another, your contributions to this show over the last several years have been enormous. Thank you to all the crew, the people behind the cameras. You guys are the unsung heroes of this show. To eBoard and to Jack, thank you for making this an incredible opportunity for all of us and an incredible show. And finally, thank you to the people who watch and support this show. Your support continues to give us the passion and energy to keep going. With that, on to your headlines. There have been many huge stories this month. Rory McIlroy finally won the Masters in the most exhilarating way possible. The Irish golfer had a 4-shot lead with 9 holes to go, but shocked everyone when he gave it up 3 holes later. McIlroy went on to a playoff hole with Justin Rose and won it in the first one. McIlroy becomes the 6th golfer all time to complete the career Grand Slam. Earlier this month, Alex Ovechkin has finally reached the top. The Washington Capitals forward has surpassed every other player in hockey history and became the all-time leading goal scorer. With the NHL regular season ending today, his goal total is at 896. Who knows how high that number will get? And finally, longtime College game day analyst Lee Corso has announced that he will be signing off. The mascot helmet-wearing icon has been with College game day and ESPN for over 40 years. Corso said that his last show will be week 1 of the 2026 college football season. And that was a look at some of your headlines. With the NBA postseason starting soon, let's bring in our panel to break it down. Welcome, guys. It's always great to have you here.
Likewise.
Great to be here.
Well, let's get started. It's playoff time. We had the first 2 days of it over the last 2, and we're starting to see some crazy things. What are you looking at?
I'd say, first of all, I think we kind of understand what this playoff is going to shake out to be. Maybe not in the Western Conference, but in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be the Celtics and Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals. I feel pretty confident the Celtics are going to kind of have a cakewalk to the finals. On the Western Conference, I'm not entirely sure how to predict it. I think a lot of things could happen, and it's going to rely on star power. So I think look to the teams with the best stars, and that's how you're going to know who's going to win, which I do think puts OKC in a tough position.
I do agree. Just the one thing, I feel like the cakewalk to the finals, you're already building excuses. All the Celtics have an easy path. They don't face anyone hard. There are some underrated teams in the Eastern Conference. You got the Knicks. I mean, say what you want about the Knicks.
First round loss?
What do you mean first round
loss?
First round loss. They're gonna blow by the Pistons, and they match up well against the Celtics. You don't know what could happen there. I feel like you're underrating teams like the Bucks, the Bucks with Giannis. Who knows what could happen with him this season? He's been playing really well. The Pacers are an underrated squad, so I mean, don't count them out. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you can't also forget that Damian Lillard will be back too.
He will. He got cleared for his blood
he got
clot.
cleared
One of the
3
fastest
weeks
recoveries
from a blood clot, from a major blood clot actually. So absolutely crazy things for the Bucks in terms of their playoff chances. What do you think, Gabe?
The Bucks are finished. I mean, the Bucks
Pretenders?
Kyle Kuzma not playing well. Damian Lillard, all the credit to him for coming back so quickly, but it's 3 weeks after a blood clot.
You're forgetting this team won the 2021 NBA Finals.
I did almost forget because it was so long ago. It's 2025
I mean,
now.
what do you know
but
about
who are they
Giannis?
missing, though?
I think the Bucks have a good chance of upsetting the Cavs. That's just me, though.
They're
I don't know
missing Chris Middleton.
And they have Dame now.
I agree that Dame is great point guard who can help them move the ball around, but who's that inside guy for them? I mean, Brook Lopez. As a Brooklyn
Giannis
Nets
is the
fan,
inside
I
guy.
love Brook Lopez.
Giannis he's gonna have a 2018
end up
LeBron
playing-
type of run. You guys are gonna just wait and find out.
2018
Yes.
LeBron run.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know
Okay,
about that, Chief.
everyone glazes Jokic. He had that 30-20-20 game. Giannis had 35, 20, and 17 assists in regulation, and no one's talked about it at all.
I'm not saying that he couldn't put up a crazy stat line, but that team is very top heavy with a very shaky bench. And the problem is, if you look at the
star
Celtics
power.
last year, right? That bench did huge things for them. Look at the Lakers 2 years ago. That bench did massive things for them. Every single time there's been a huge long run, especially when we get into games 5, 6, 7 of not the first series, but the second series, let alone the third and the finals. Like, we're talking about teams that are very top heavy, and that's my concern with the Knicks. Is
The Knicks.
forgetting the fact that, again, as a Nets fan, I want them to lose, but that's a team that also is struggling to find their identity. They have not won against any top team this year. That's concerning.
Well, you call them top heavy. It would be nice if their starting 5 would actually play defense in addition to their offense. So first they got to fix that before they start getting into the bench. But no, I'm not high on the Knicks. Mikal Bridges has been sort of a disappointment, I would say, especially considering the draft capital they gave up.
5 first-round picks.
5 first-round picks. You know, I don't think that move was bad in hindsight. You got to make the all-in move, but Tibbs has got to find a way to get the defensive identity out of these guys, and I'm not sure they have enough time to figure it out before the end of the season.
Well, shifting back to the Western Conference a little bit, because I know we talked a little bit about the East. It's a little bit more chaotic than we think. I don't know, but the West looks absolute chaos. Wild West seasons.
Insane.
I mean,
1 through 8 really right now we're yet to see the play-in game, but the Grizzlies themselves have 48 wins and are the 8th seed. I think that's insane. And in terms of like a dark horse, watch out for the Clippers.
oh yeah,
Watch out for the Clippers.
So high on the Clippers.
Clippers Nuggets 4-5 matchup. I mean, James Harden's looking great. I mean, he's playing like way beyond his years right now. Kawhi Leonard, people forget about Kawhi Leonard. Zubac, my most improved, averaging 16 and 12. Look for this team to upset OKC. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
I mean, that's definitely my team, my dark horse candidates. I love Zubac. I love Zubac when he was back on the Lakers all those years ago in that stupid trade they made then.
They could use him right now.
Oh, man, they could.
The Lakers
They
got
could
Jackson.
use-
He's that kid.
Can I jump in here about
let's
the
hear it.
Clippers? Let me just say this. If the NBA championship was determined by games missed, the LA Clippers would be one of the greatest teams in history. This team with James Harden and Kawhi Leonard is not going to do anything in the playoffs.
What makes you say that?
How many times has Kawhi
Availability?
been healthy in his career for a playoff
Who cares?
run? One time.
Who cares?
One time.
He's
More than
healthy
once.
right now, though.
He's won 2 Finals
he's
MVPs. What do you
healthy.
mean he's only been healthy for one
That was
playoff
his
run?
first
he's
year in his
healthy right
career.
now.
That
He's
was his
healthy
rookie
right now.
2
season.
Finals MVPs.
James Harden is 35 years old. He's historically been a playoff choker. He's got so many miles on him. He's been carrying the team the whole year. Kawhi has played 10 good games in a row, and suddenly everybody thinks he's back. That's the whole point of knee injuries. You play 10 good games, and then something happens, and then you're out for the next 3
I'm
weeks.
not saying they're contenders. I mean, look at them just as a dark horse. Can you say they're a dark horse at least?
No, there's no horse.
That's
There's no
insane.
horse
That's
there.
insane.
Well,
You're saying they're just
shifting the
dark?
conversation to the Nuggets a little bit. We had a massive breaking news story just a week ago where they fired not just their head coach, Mike Malone, who took them to the championship
2 years ago.
2 years ago, but they also fired the general manager. And people are calling them vulnerable. Like, take a look into what Nikola Jokic just said. People say that when we're vulnerable, but the beast is always the most dangerous when it's vulnerable. Maybe. So, he doesn't feel super confident, but he does feel that the owner has woken up that beast. What do you think about that?
I think always firing a head coach can lead one of 2 ways. Either the team falls off completely, or they somehow rise to the top. It lights a fire inside of them. For the Nuggets, we're yet to see that. I mean, obviously they have Jokic, and when you have Jokic, you're in basically any playoff series. But it's not about Jokic; it's about literally anyone else. When they won that championship in 2023, who was their X factor? Jamal Murray. And Jamal Murray is a historic playoff riser. If he can do that again, they have a chance of going far. But if he just plays like he is now, I expect the Nuggets to be out in the first round.
Well, Gabe, first, let's cut right to it. Who's your winner? Who's your winner in a month time?
The Celtics. I do have to jump in.
Thank you,
though,
Gabe.
and say something about what Mark said. Everybody is blaming everybody but Nikola Jokic for the Nuggets' failures. But there was an interesting piece of information that came out of the firing, and that was Mike Malone was saying a lot of guys don't watch film. Why isn't Nikola Jokic a prime suspect of not watching film? He doesn't like to play basketball. He says it's a job. He likes to leave.
This is insane. This guy could win his 4th MVP. You're telling me who cares if he doesn't watch film? I don't care if he doesn't watch film.
I'm just saying, he's supposed to be the leader of the team, and it sets a culture down.
He is the leader of the team, though. This team is showing that
Are we sure if he doesn't watch
film? He's not
film?
Joel Embiid. What about Joel Embiid? Where's Joel Embiid right now?
I would like to know if Nikola Jokic watches film. I would like to go into his app, and I'd like to see his minutes.
Players of all time.
Well, but we're blaming everybody else, but he doesn't.
This is like the dumbest
He
argument I've ever
said
heard
Mike
about
Malone
watching film.
doesn't target Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Those are his favorites.
Okay.
You let your favorites do whatever you want. I'm just saying, why hasn't anybody asked whether Nikola Jokic is the root cause of some of these problems in the Nuggets locker room? We know he has a bad attitude. We've seen
What
that
makes you
multiple
say he's a
times.
bad
Do you
attitude?
remember when he killed one of those Morris brothers?
Okay.
Morris brothers. He paralyzed him for 4 months. He's out of the league. People forget about that. He's a dirty player. He has a bad attitude. He doesn't like basketball.
I don't know if Nikola Jokic is a dirty player. I think he is a great player. But we heard what Gabe thinks of who's going to win. Mark, are you going to be a Celtics fan here and think the Celtics are going to win?
I mean, I'm a Celtics fan at heart, so I have to say the Celtics. But I will say that OKC has a real shot as well. So I would say it would be Celtics, OKC. I would go. I think that series goes 7. I think Celtics get it on the road. They get it done on the road because they've been one of the best road teams in NBA history. So I think they get it done. Back to back, baby.
It would be fun to
Celtics
see.
in 5.
Well, I hope to see the Cavaliers win it this year. And with the playoffs just days away, expect plenty more excitement to come in the NBA. The spring season is nearing the close, and correspondent Ashley Robinson is here to get you up to speed on the latest for GW Athletics. Ashley?
Thanks, Spencer. Track and field is in the middle of a strong season. 2 weeks ago, the Revs earned 22 PRs across both teams. This week, they competed at James Madison University, tallying wins from Mike Bolke in the 1,500-meter run, Austin Brodemarkle in the 3,000-meter run, and Joe Farney in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. Looking over to the women's team, Hadley Mahoney and Olivia Siftestad earned third-place finishes in the 1,500-meter run and the 3,000-meter run. And Rita Mazumder earned a top 10 finish in the 800-meter run. Both the men's and women's teams will compete across 2 different meets this weekend at Johns Hopkins University and the University of Virginia. These are their final meets before A10 competition begins on May 3rd at George Mason University. Softball kept up their dominant home record this weekend with a sweep against Fordham this Sunday. This is the team's 2nd ever sweep of Fordham in program history and their first since the 2022 conference championship season. The team won 7-6 in Game 1 and 3-0 in Game 2, and players Anna Reed and Kaylee Layfield earned Pitcher and Rookie of the Week conference honors. 9 A10 games remain on the schedule for the Revs, who are currently 12-5. Looking ahead, they will face St. Joseph's University for 3 games between April 18th and 19th. Spencer?
Thank you. Now let's bring in our NFL panel, Mark Achkar, Rami Nanash, and Brick, for their thoughts on all things NFL. Well, guys, we are 1 week away from the NFL draft. We still don't know who's number 1. We still have not seen any trades. Break it down. Let's hear it, Brick.
I mean, I made some statements last week that might not have been accurate. 24 hours after that aired, some reports came out. Cam Ward is looking like an early favorite for Tennessee. I kind of like it. I think it's a good choice. I think he's a composed, solid quarterback, and I think he might go number 1.
Rami?
Listen, watch the tape back. As soon as he said that, I peeped in and I gave you all a look, okay? And that look was
Pulling out the receipts.
Cam Ward is going number 1 to the Titans. We knew it, and he even hopped on a certain game, we'll top on it later, claiming that Calvin Ridley was possibly better than A.J. Brown. I think he's a great fit for the Titans. I think it makes perfect sense, and then I therefore see Travis Hunter going to the Cleveland Browns.
Mark?
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like it'd be Cam Ward, but I'm just saying keep an eye on Abdul Carter. I mean, I said that last time. I think he is still the best player in the draft. So I think it's some food for thought.
Well, I mean, it's crazy that we are literally a week away. We still have no clue. I mean, I know Cam Ward's being the favorite. I know he said some stuff on Fortnite yesterday. Take a look at this. Right, this is absolutely the funniest thing. He's in referring to a question about what he thinks of his top receivers. He said, A.J. Brown's a dog, but he's not Calvin Ridley. I don't know how to react to that when
This is clown.
Calvin Ridley has had, one good year
with
Maybe.
the Falcons.
with the Falcons.
Yeah.
He's like 3 years removed from that. And A.J. Brown is coming off a second Super Bowl run. Like, explain that to me. Can someone please explain to me how Cam Ward, besides for, again, selling the fact that he's probably going to go to the Titans, I agree with that, how Calvin Ridley is better than A.J. Brown?
No, I love it. I think he's building team chemistry early, and he kind of knows the situation that he's in, right? And we know that views go crazy in this world, so he definitely sees that. And he continued on and said that 2 of his top 4 running backs were Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears.
Yeah, I don't.
And he just drifted off. So it was really funny to see. I think he understands he's going to the Tennessee Titans, and I think he's just ready to make an impact. And he's kind of more concerned about who's on his team than who's the best at the NFL.
Listen, I agree. I mean, it's important to elevate your own players, even if you say the most outlandish statements of all time. If you, as the quarterback, say, "Oh, I have the best wide receiver, I have the best running back," it makes them play harder. They like, "Oh, let's prove to this guy who has confidence in me that I'm a stud." Basically, that's it. I like. Is it wrong? Yes, but is it also a good thing? I think it's also a yes.
I mean, the comparison here would be like someone saying, right, "Oh, I'm so excited to play with Jameis Winston," right? I mean, no offense to Patrick Mahomes, but like
comparing
Jameis
Cam Ward to
Winston
Jameis
here.
Winston, though?
No, I'm not comparing Cam Ward to Jameis Winston. I'm comparing the comparison of Calvin Ridley to A.J. Brown as Jameis Winston is to Patrick Mahomes.
I don't know if that's the same, man.
I mean, we're talking about guys who've had great moments at times, right? Have had great 1 years, right? Have been somewhat removed from those 1 years, right? Like, and talking about a guy who's at the top of the game right now. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty close comparison.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but if you watch Mahomes in that last Super Bowl, I don't know if that's, top of his game either. He played like a sub-average quarterback. He didn't have a great passer rating. He looked like Caleb Williams in the pocket. My God, it was terrible. And to be honest, I just don't. I think the Chiefs are missing their window.
Missing their window.
I think their window is closing. I'm not saying
What?
they're not contenders anymore, but I'm saying that the Chiefs, they're not putting themselves in position to win championships anymore. Travis Kelce's getting older. They have a decent receiving core. I mean, if your top receiver is Rashee Rice and you're excited about that, whoop-de-doo. In free agency, they didn't do anything. They added a backup D-tackle in Jerry Tillery. They added Gardner Minshew for whatever reason. They added Christian Fulton, which, by the way, he's never played more than 15 games in a season. And then you add Elijah Mitchell to back up Isaiah Pacheco, who can never play more than 4 games in a row anyway. And then you add Jalen Moore at O-tackle, who has 12 starts in 4 years. This guy is backup written all over him. They didn't add anything. And then let me get into the rest of the AFC West really quick. The Broncos add Evan Ingram and Dre Greenlaw. That's already more than whatever I just said. And then the Chargers add Tyler Conklin, Andre James at center, Mekhi Becton, who just won the Super Bowl. You have Mike Williams coming home from the Jets. You add Najee Harris, and you keep Khalil Mack in free agency. Year 2 for Jim Harbaugh. That's ridiculous. And then we haven't even talked about the Raiders
Let me
yet.
ask you, who do you think is going to win that division next year?
I got
West?
Broncos 1, Chargers 2, Chiefs 3, Raiders
Okay.
5.
I think
That
Chiefs,
is
as long as
absolutely
Patrick Mahomes is
wild.
on your team, I think they have
wild.
The Broncos have a solid year 2 coming from Bo Nix. And if you look at his film after the Seattle
Year 2,
game,
he's
season
done
opener,
the-
of course, right? Because go Hawks. After that game, he played consistently better every single game. He was throwing it downfield. He's extending plays, making plays in his Sean Payton offense, and it works. They have a young, solid offense. They have a very great defense, way better than the Chiefs. And then you have the Chargers in that game. And let's be honest, the Chiefs got blessed last season with that 15-2 record. They had so many one-score games that could have gone either way. They could have been 9-8 last season. Let's be real. All right. The Broncos game, Mahomes played terrible. I think he had 2 picks, and they only won off a blocked field goal, which, to be honest, that should just never happen on special teams. And then the Chargers, if they knew how to play in prime time, they would have stolen one as well. And then let's not forget the Aiden McConnell game.
What if?
Aiden
Oh my God, what
McConnell
if?
could have been them as well.
Everything's
The
a what
Chiefs
if.
are
Everything's a
due.
what
The
if.
Chiefs are
What
due
if?
for a subpar season. I'm not saying they're going to go negative. I'm saying they win like 9 or 10 games and make a wild card.
I mean, they're barely
That's-
winning the games, but they're winning the games.
Yeah,
but at the same time, they're not doing anything to
game.
improve. Their team,
I mean,
these
you want to
teams
talk
just
about a
got
team
better.
that's not doing anything to improve? No matter who the Patriots draft this year, and I know you're going to disagree with me, and we'll fight about that, and I'll ball up on you a little bit. But The Patriots are going nowhere. They are a dumpster fire of the
Says the
franchise.
Jets
They
fan.
have
Says
no
the
idea what they're
Jets
doing.
fan.
They're at number 4.
You want,
Where
you
the Jets gone in the past
They
You want
20
to 1v1
years?
this? You want to 1v1 this? Rob,
Yeah,
grab the
let's
ball.
1v1.
We're 1v1
All right,
this.
let's just settle this. This is ridiculous. Give it.
Got no chance,
go.
buddy.
I got no chance. The Patriots got no chance.
Who am I throwing to, Mark?
Yeah.
All right, ready? Down, set, go.
Just toss it up. Oh, it's a bad throw, Rami. That's a bad
What
throw.
can you say
That's
about
a
that?
bad
What
throw.
can you see?
That's
This
a
is
bad
this is what I'm
throw.
talking about here.
I throw
This
it. You gotta throw it
Patriots
high.
fan
You gotta throw it
I'm putting it
high.
right in his
saying-
hands,
You gotta
guys.
throw it high.
I'm putting it right in
Okay,
his
we'll
hands.
try again. We'll give you another opportunity.
can easily Moss this guy.
We'll give you. Oh, exactly. You're Randy Moss. I'm Darrell Revis 09.
Oh. Grenade dig. Grenade dig, go.
Oh.
We're good. Okay, great. You win one. You win one for a change.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
We're always winning.
What a grab.
Patriots are always
grab.
beating the
The
Jets.
Patriots are
kick us out of the
going
studio.
nowhere fast.
Uh-huh.
And I stand
Look
by
in the
that.
mirror. Look in the mirror.
When we come here in several months when I won't be here, and you have to look at watching the Patriots play every week, enjoy it.
I'll let you know. I'll same thing to you, buddy.
I don't know why you're so harping on the Patriots.
Yeah.
Rent free.
They're
Rent
gonna
free, 'cause
snag
they beat
probably
them
Will Campbell
for
in the
20 years
draft.
straight. Now he's
hope they
getting his
do.
revenge.
Or they
I
could
hope they
trade
do.
down and get Ashton Genty.
Well, panel, thank you for joining me on this latest episode. For the latest in GW sports, correspondent Brittany LaVecchia is standing by. Brittany.
Thanks, Spencer. Women's lacrosse is gearing up for the A10 tournament next month with only 3 games left of the season. The Revs took on Richmond last week, falling 5-16 to the Spiders. The team put on a strong fight with sophomore Grace Curry getting on the board. In the net, Gabby Greth and Arden Bogle combined 8 saves for the Revolutionaries. The Revs are 7-7 overall and 1-6 in conference play. They will head to LaSalle next, 2 weeks before heading down to Richmond for A10 play. GW Baseball cruised past UMBC this week with a final score of 14-7. Ellis Schwartz got things started for the Revs with a 2-run home run to left field in the first inning. First-year Jonas Aponic earned his first collegiate start on the mound, tossing 2 innings and tallying 1 strikeout. The Revs improved 18-14 overall and 6-6 in conference play, ahead of a weekend series against Dayton. The Revs have another game this month before A10 baseball championship in Tysons, Virginia. And in other exciting GW sports news, GW Athletics Hall of Famer John Paul Jones is set to deliver this year's commencement address. Jones was named the WNBA Finals MVP this year after leading the New York Liberty to their first championship title last year. Jones will also receive an honorary Doctor of Humanities from the university. Back to you, Spencer.
Brittany LaVecchia, thank you. Now let's bring in our F1 panel, Sarah Gores and Alex Ashley. Well, thank you guys for joining me. We are 4 races into the F1 calendar season. What's sticking out to you?
Really, right now, what's sticking out to me is the McLaren fight that we're seeing between Lando and Oscar. We really see those papaya rules in effect, and you can't really see exactly where the team wants to place all their bets. Right now, that's partially because of in Oscar's contract. He has it as a clause that they have to be equal, so like a lot of their parts, they can't change one car until they have the parts for both. So that's also been hindering a lot of their development this season. So seeing Lando's performance last weekend wasn't super surprising, but it was definitely a shocker.
Well, it seems like Lando is still the primary driver in that team, even though Oscar has looked stronger, arguably, this year. Granted, Lando came off to a strong start, but Oscar is the first double pole sitter this season, the first person to have multiple victories this season, right? Like, he has gone above and beyond what Lando has done thus far this year, at least. And I think we will probably start to see him go into a support driver role as Lando becomes more competitive through this season. But if Oscar keeps this up, there might be a shift in the order at the Papaya team.
But I mean, like, Lando spoke after the race on Sunday at Bahrain, and it kind of, I feel like, gives a perspective that he's kind of thinking, right? He says, I think the pace was good. The car obviously mega, as Oscar showed, but yeah, just too many mistakes today. Is he kind of saying, I messed up today, and I might, like, if that's what he can do when he messes up, right, on a bad day, that he's still that #1 driver?
I think so, and I also think you can see it from the response that we saw from the McLaren team, because the McLaren team, especially their team boss, repeatedly said that they thought Lando performed well this weekend. And you can see that this is really just something that's going on in Lando's head. He's becoming tighter, more anxious of a driver. He's making more mistakes that we can see. So I can really see him going one or two ways throughout for the next race. We want to see how he performs. He's either going to continue down this spiral, or he's going to lock in and actually be able to get back to the confidence that he had with the car before.
Well, and we say spiral though, but he did get third, right? And granted, he wasn't able to pass the Mercedes, and whether that's a testament to the driving from the Mercedes team, or if that's a testament to their car actually being competitive again this year, I think you go back to McLaren even 2 years ago, third place was a huge result for them. So I think there's still a period of settling in at the top that they have to get used to, because we've seen the Mercedes era and then the Red Bull era, and it'll take a little bit of time for a new top team to get comfortable every week in and out actually being the #1 team. And so I think we'll have to see that shift in a mindset happen. And we've even seen it over press conferences recently. Over the past year, you look at Lando's results, that first podium of last year, really exciting. Anytime after that he wasn't on the top step, he was saying, oh, it's a good result, but it's not the best one. And that's a big shift that we've seen from Lando as he's getting more competitive into being the top driver.
I think that's why he can get tripped up, though, and because he's becoming more anxious. As you're starting to get on this spiral, it just becomes easier and easier to go down. So I think that shift in his language from saying, this was a mistake, but we're going to do better next time, to saying, this is detrimental, what am I doing? Like, basically shooting down on himself for the to anyone who would listen after the race.
And that's contrasted with Piastri, who's very level-headed and almost, it's almost Kimi Räikkönen-esque. Where,
just not a single thought behind those eyes.
Very relaxed on the radio. so he's a little bit more of that cool presence, which for someone so young and being technically the secondary driver in that team, that makes Lando's, let's say, freakouts a little bit more prominent within that team as well, because there's not another driver that's being equally as dramatic within that team.
Well, I mean, saying that's another driver, but another team that's kind of getting dramatic. I mean,
kind of.
Well, it's getting there. It's getting there. You know, we've seen a driver swap 2 races in. We've been 2 races past that. Yuki's been fine, generally, I guess. Like, I'm not blown away by him, but then again, also, like,
he was in the points when...
He's in the points. Yeah. So
that's a cursed seat. We've been over this before. It is a cursed seat because, unlike McLaren, where the car is developed for both drivers who they both like, that car will always be Max's car.
Yeah.
And since Daniel
Ricciardo... It might not be for very much longer.
So I mean, Helmut Marko...
For right now.
Helmut Marko, who's chief boss of this team, you know, kind of is getting a little shaky here. I mean, he's concerned. I know that a lot of other teams are starting to have talks with him. I know Mercedes had a little bit last year. I mean, listen to this. The concern is great. As I said, improvements have to come in the near future so that he has a car with which he can win again.
Win again.
Win again, which means they don't think he's going to win anytime soon. Is that a red flag?
He won 2 weeks ago.
But in the sense of they think they're getting blown out right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they were what, P6, P9?
Yeah, just dropped
Bahrain,
off a cliff.
Which is the testing track now, shows so much of how far they've fallen behind, I think.
But there still is tracks where that car will be good. It's just not good at every track. And I think we forget that the last 2 years in the sport are not normal, right? Being dominant at every single circuit is not really something that F1 cars are designed to do, and it just so happened that car was so much better.
That's definitely happened.
Well,
where there's a series of years. I mean,
the W11.
The W11, just that series of runs. I mean, look at even I think it was the W07 with Nico and Lewis. I mean, that was a team. That was. Honestly, I think that's where McLaren's going. But that's what we've seen is you know, 2 drivers be competitive, crash out in Germany in epic fashion, which unfortunately no Germany this year. But do you see that happening?
I don't know. The thing that's really tricky now is it's been going around the rumor mill that Max has in his contract a performance clause. So if he drops into 4th in the constructors or in the drivers' championship, that then he's now a free agent, and that could cause a lot of stir-up because he really only has 3 options. He takes some time off, retires, which we don't really see him doing, or going to Aston Martin or Mercedes. Those are the two really viable options for him.
Or Cadillac.
Do you really
that
think?
would be
But
No.
they're not going to be good enough for him
Colton
to
Herta,
want to
I
actually
think
be
Colton
there.
Herta could be such a sick driver pairing.
That's
awesome to
further
see.
down the line, but
Way further down.
we do have a very tight contest for P2, P3, and P4, and even the midfield is tight. But I think honestly, Red Bull is P4 again.
Oh yeah.
I think unless Ferrari detrimentally fail with their Hamilton struggles at the moment, and they just can't keep that car up to what he wants in a car, I think they're at the bottom of the pecking order, and there is even a chance that if Yuki continues to fail to deliver and Max is still lower, dare I say P5?
Yeah, honestly.
That would be a
That would
day.
be
Yeah.
crazy to see. Well, let's hear it. I know we're only 4 races in. Let's overreact. Who's your winner this season? Who's your constructor and your driver?
Okay, my constructor is definitely going to McLaren. Even though we're 4 races in, Oscar has been performing beautifully. Their cars have been beautiful, and I could definitely see them going all the way this year. As for drivers, it's now becoming more up in the air. Last week, I would have probably placed my bets more on Lando, but seeing it now and seeing how he's performing, it can be a little bit more of a toss-up, so I'm probably going to go with Oscar.
Alex?
McLaren constructors, Lewis Hamilton drivers.
Wow!
Wow! Okay, even as a Ferrari fan, I'm not that delusional.
I think Ferrari gets too stressed about having the problems they're having, and I think they just bring something insane to that car in the last year of these regulations, and it's of questionable legality, and at least on paper, it'll work.
You see, Alex, the thing you're forgetting here, and this is a massive thing to forget, you're assuming their tactics get better. Like, their tactics have sucked for years, and you're assuming that they flip a switch?
I think they just do something borderline illegal in the rules and say, we're sorry, we didn't know, and they give Lewis a very fast car.
I feel like they could give him the fastest car in the world, but they would still snipe him with strategy
Tires,
every time.
Maybe.
This last week was exactly the same thing. Hamilton was feeling confident with the car, finally, but then Ferrari decided to put them on hards at the end. What choice was that? Wasn't a smart one, clearly. And so we've seen this again and again and again. So if it's not going to be the car and the car isn't the problem, we maybe need to start talking about the other issues with Ferrari.
For sure. Well, panel, thank you so much. Let's take a quick break before Rami and Ethan detail the month's top 10 plays.
After an abysmal year with the Flyers, Andrei Svechnikov makes his return this season.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our final top 10 plays of the spring semester. I'm Rami Anash Jr.
And I'm Ethan Jaw. Let's jump right into it. Starting with number 10, a towering fly ball from the Angels. Kyron Paris is almost snagged by the Rays' Christopher Morel, but is caught by renowned MLB fan villain Zach Hampel. Now, you think that's interesting? It was so interesting that we changed sports all the way to cricket. Who would have guessed?
Wow. Coming in at number 9, is a absolute dagger from all the way to the back of the TD Garden logo. It was an absolute drainage 3 and forcing Atlanta to call a timeout. They would go on to destroy the Magic and have the Hawks
Coming
get the
in
7th
at number 10, a beautiful goal right from Alex Ovechkin. This was one of his final goals right before he ended up, of course, passing Wayne Gretzky for the all-time record, making him one of Russia's 2 favorite people in Washington, D.C.
Coming in at number 7, we have a great play. It's coming in from the Cleveland Cavaliers, an absolute slam jam, and that was a hammer down.
At number 6, a beautiful home run from Ohtani in Japan. Konnichiwa, Tokyo, and welcome to the show. Absolutely beautiful. The fans love to see it. It was contestable if it was a home run or not. But, I mean, come on. It's Ohtani in Japan. What do you expect? Of course it's going to be a home run.
I mean, yeah, no expectation. Coming in at number 5, we have Anthony Edwards driving in and slamming it home. What a jam. He went over the top of everybody on the Jazz. Beautiful slam.
Coming in at number 4, James Harden absolutely crosses up Evan Mobley on the post. Absolutely just goes crazy, goes nuts, puts his hand on his head. He didn't know what hit him.
Coming in at number 3, we have a buzzer beater coming in from Trey Donaldson, excuse me. Michigan goes up by 1, and they would end up beating Maryland this game. This is our
number 2 spot. And number 2, this was a match between one of the first games that came in the March Madness, where the Alabama State Hornets were able to win at the buzzer with a football-esque shot just in time for a beautiful layup with 0.7 seconds left in the game. Wonderful to see.
Coming in at number 1 is a Man City play against Brighton. Omar Marmoush absolutely rips it from the top of the key and scores, puts City up 2-1, and they would end up, I believe, drawing with Brighton in this game, 2-2.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't say it. I mean, it was a show so nice last month. We did it twice, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding. Anyways, I don't know what happened with the plays, but before we go, just wanted to say one last little note for the crew, for everybody watching who's watched with us over the years. Just wanted to say thank you. Me personally, I've been here since my freshman year. Just wanted to say thank you, Mom, Dad, everybody who's supported me over the years. Thank you to my fellow seniors over here. Yeah?
Yeah, we actually have, before we go, we want to thank people who have been absolutely integral to the development of Unstoppable over the years. And right here we have Rami, of course, Spencer here in the middle, and Alex over there on the far end.
These guys are the inspiration. Alex has been our producer. He first got me involved with GWTV. He's been great. And then Spencer has been our host for as long as I can remember. He's been wonderful. He always has the earpiece in because he's the most qualified to do it. Anyways, thank you for watching with us. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for supporting GWTV Unstoppable. Get home safe.
Thank you, everyone.
Woo.
Have a good one.
Yeah.